I've heard stories about this, mostly horror stories. So not only is this gonna be my first time trying it, but it'll also be my last time because we're gonna beat it. Okay, wait 1 second. We have something very important coming out soon, so I just want to present something.
Does your mouth have a hard time masticating alone or in front of yourself and/or family members? Well, I can't fix that, but I do have a cookbook that you can pre-order. This book is not clinically proven or approved to do really anything. It is just the greatest book of all time. Do not read this book if you suffer from a lack of taste, are easily craving delicious meals, and hate looking at informational content surrounded by beautiful images. This book may contain knowledge, technique, papa's kisses, and a little bit of farting.
Okay, so today we're making Hot Pockets, but better. I don't know what led us down this road other than the volume of requests to do this. Yet another but better being done against my will. Thank you so much. I guess for those people who've never had one or seen one, it's basically like a lazy calzone, from my understanding. I have nothing else to say about these. Let's just get this over with and make this, shall we?
Wow, we're back at the Mecca, the Megalodon. Is that a word? Oh, wow! I hate being here. Anyway, so I guess we'll go inside. The Red Baron. Pizza. Wait, what are we getting again? So the classic ones, so I've been told, are pepperoni. God, this is just a depressing bag. And then what was the other one? Ham and cheese? Oh, we got the value pack. Got it. What is that? Who looks at, like, if you had no context and you just saw this, you're like, oh, yum, bon appetit. So we've got the box. Let me just clarify, I'm not like expecting a world-class 3 Michelin star product, but this is what y'all are hype about? You put these in the microwave? I've never had a Hot Pocket. I'm gonna discover it. Maybe I'll like it. That's not an identifiable smell. This smells worse than Chuck E. Cheese pizza. This has to smell worse. Wow, they smell identical. How is that possible? Okay, so I guess you've got this little sleeve or the pocket. Good one, huh? Oh, cook then fold? This is a holster for it? So how do I do this? How is this not right? What are you cooking in the magical heating machine? 28 minutes in the oven? Okay, we're microwaving this. Put it on a plate. The magical heating machine. Ugh. There's a lot of waiting involved. At this point, you could have just Uber Eats something. Nummy, nummy. How is it that hot? What's the point of the rest period? Look at this. Look at the steam erupting from this. I'm getting more angry the longer this takes. This is single-handedly the worst bite of food that we've had on this show to date. That look nice, Vic? You like that? This one's a little better flavor-wise, but also has a nice undertone of burnt plastic. Thank you very much. I have nothing else to say. This has been a long one. We're gonna do this, hopefully better, because I don't know what I'm gonna do if we don't.
All right, folks. I tried 2 different dough versions here. First version was an ultra flaky pie crust, which was dope and delicious, but also significantly more annoying to handle when shaping because pie crust is so delicate. And a slightly faster homemade route, I think the second dough, which was Papa's puff pastry, was the winner here. Good job, pal. Obviously, you can either buy the puff pastry, which if you do, I recommend do 4, or of course you can use my recipe for homemade puff pastry, and the link is in the description. Which, look, I get it, it takes a lot of time to make, and guess what? It's better. No surprises there, all right? Okay. Now that we have that out of the way, let's make our fillings. And don't worry, we'll jump back to the dough in just a moment. First is our pepperoni pizza filling. This is already an atrocity to Italian cuisine, so let's make something a little bit different. First, you'll start off with 3 ounces or 85 grams of guanciale, dice that into nice and evenly cut 1/4 inch cubes, toss that into a medium saucepan, optionally a light drizzle of extra virgin olive oil to help get it going, set that to medium heat, and let that cook until their fat is fully rendered and you get nice little brown crispy bits. From there, you'll add 5 cloves of garlic, very thinly sliced, let those cook in the guanciale fat, stirring often until they are toasted and golden brown. You know, very underrated thing, toasting garlic, just do it more often. Do it for Papa. Follow that up with fresh cracked black pepper, let that toast a touch, 1 tablespoon or 5 grams of finely chopped rosemary, cook for 10 seconds, then add in 1 6-ounce or 170 gram can of tomato paste, stir that together, fill up that same 6-ounce can to the brim with water, add that to the pan, stir together and let that simmer for about 2 minutes. Once that's done, hit that with 2 teaspoons or 8 grams of sugar and salt to taste. Finally, add 3 tablespoons or 45 milliliters of extra virgin olive oil, stir that together until emulsified and thoroughly combined. And at this point, your sauce is done and it should be
blessed.
Look, it's far from a traditional tomato sauce, I'm aware of that, but it's absolutely maxed out with deep flavor de tomate. Now, for the cheese, you're just gonna mix 1.5 cups or 190 grams of fresh grated low moisture mozzarella and 3/4 of a cup or 73 grams of fresh grated Grana Padano or Parmigiano cheese. That was a good one, right? Good pronunciation there. Parmigiano papa. Look, don't make me have the grating conversation, by the way, because, just grate your cheese fresh. So grate your cheese or don't, and also don't receive a kiss from Last but not least is the pepperoni. You'll need about 1 cup or 150 grams of pepperoni that's been sliced about 1/2 inch thick. Yes, I like it thick, and you know that. And here I used a mix of pepperoni and salami. The salami was sliced into coins, then quartered, and the pepperoni was sliced into coins and then halves, thus creating a pepperoni textural wonderland for the people. That does it for the pep pizza filling. Now, for the ham and cheese filling, it's even easier. Start off with 1/2 cup or 40 grams of prosciutto that's been diced roughly. Heat up a small saucepan with just barely enough vegetable oil to coat the bottom. Heat that over medium-high until hot, absolutely boiling. Add in your prosciutto and let that fry for 2 to 3 minutes, stirring occasionally until they're brown and crisp. Drain on a paper towel and you've got that crispy prosciutto brother. Of course, you'll also need 1 cup or 145 grams of ham that's diced into 1/2 inch cubes. Pretty straightforward there. Now, for the cheese, we're not just doing 1, 2, or even 3 cheeses. We're doing 5, buddy. You'll need 1 ball or 130 grams of scamorza, grated, 1 cup or 126 grams of provolone, grated, 1 cup or 126 grams of smoked cheddar, grated, 1/2 cup or 48 grams of Parmigiano Reggiano, and 1/2 cup or 70 grams of raclette, which hopefully also grated. Toss that together, and that's your
big formaggio
little pants man. Okay, assembly time. First, get yourself a single recipe batch of either my puff pastry or 2 bags of
do-for puff pastry.
Roll that bad boy out until it's 12 inches by 10 inches and 1/4 inch thick. Then first cut that into strips that are around 3.5 inches wide and then into bars that are 5 inches long. That should leave you with nice, relatively evenly shaped bars. It's okay if they're a little uneven because we're gonna trim them later anyway, but yeah. Now to fill these, get a piece of dough, brush the edges with egg wash consisting of 1 egg beaten with 1 tablespoon or 14 milliliters of heavy cream. Now, layering is very important. First, add a nice layer of sauce, followed by a layer of cheese, then your pepperoni. Be sure to cover this evenly, but don't overfill it. Then another layer of sauce, more cheese, grab another piece of dough, and carefully place it on top, and gently but firmly seal the edges completely. Please, if they're not sealed, guess what's gonna happen? It's gonna be
busting open.
And in this case, you won't be excited about it. Then using either a knife or a fluted ravioli cutter, trim the edges so they're clean and straight. Then just repeat that with the rest of your desired amount of peppy hot boys. Next, ham and cheese filling. Of course, brush the border around your piece of dough, then cheese, then ham, followed by your crispy prosciutto, and you guessed it, more cheese. Top that with another layer of dough, seal the edges, trim them beautifully and lovingly. Place all those bad boys on a baking sheet, line with parchment paper as you go, giving them at least 1 inch of space apart, then cover that brother with plastic wrap and let it chill in the fridge for 15 minutes. Also, don't skip this because it's essential for puff pastry to get a little chilly time in the fridge. Once you're ready to bake and your oven is preheated to 375 Fahrenheit, brush the tops of your pastries with that same egg wash. Optionally, poke a couple holes into the top of the pastry using a cake tester to allow a little air to escape and keep them from exploding. Then finally, pop them into the oven for 15 to 20 minutes. Now wait a damn minute. While those are baking, if you really want to make this extra special, then I'd recommend making a quick herb butter by getting the cutest little saucepan ever. Adding a 1/3 cup or 78 grams of unsalted butter, 2 sprigs of rosemary cut in half and lightly bruised, 3 to 4 garlic cloves crushed and left in their skin. Pop that onto the stove, set to medium-low and let that heat until fully melted, then just leave that on to heat for about 5 minutes or until infused with flavor and beautifully fragrant. Pull it off the stove and set to the side. Now once your pastries are done and come out as a beautiful golden brown, hit them with a nice brushing of herb butter and a beautiful sprinkle of flaky salt. Now these aren't just hot pockets. These are a crafted pastry full of culinary passion and wonder. Now we just need to put them next to the coveted hot pocket and see how we did. So let us taste test. So visually, these are a little shorter, but it's not always about length. Sometimes it's also about girth. I mean, sounds like I'm flicking a soccer ball. Now, what do these sound like? Let's give that a sound test. You already know, they'd be flaking. Oh yeah, I'm gonna take my clothes off right now.
The entire team's like, hang on, we have to leave.
This is like instantaneously better. I have nothing else to say about that. It's buttery, rich, intense flavor. This is almost reminiscent to like a really good ham and cheese croissant. Ooh. Oh, Lord have mercy. Have mercy on my soul. Don't beat me up yet. Lord have mercy. Back to earth. First impressions are everything. And my first impression of these was horrible, and so was the last impression of it, because I will not be having them again. We've won this episode, but we cannot decide that until we have our taste tester of the day. Kendrick, please. Mama? So, pep numero uno. Oh, you wanna?
Were you going?
I'm happy with Okay, we have to be serious for a second. Everybody remember what the ABCs are like.
This is actually kind of hard to chew.
The joke's on you, that was my poop. All right.
More poop, please.
Here's number two. Number two.
Oh, it's so good.
Number one, the first one or the second one?
The second one's so much better.
This is not a win until we get a 2 out of 2. A, B, C, wow, don't bite my fingy. Number 2, ham and cheese.
Tastes like Cheese Whiz. I can, what?
Wow.
Man, I've never hated Hot Pockets as much as I do right now.
I thought you said you liked them.
I did, and then I just had these. God, the original Hot Pockets are so much worse in comparison. They're just like dry. There's not a lot of flavor. Tastes like Cheese Whiz. Yours, on the other hand, that garlic and herb butter, like leagues ahead. It's incredibly savory. It was like the perfect amount of salt. It felt good to have in my mouth. That's still in one piece.
We're the winners yet again, but better. We're just getting bag after bag.
I'm sorry.
Finalization, we already know we've won this episode of But Better. Taste the original and you suddenly realize, wait a minute, they're not really trying that hard. Why have I accepted this in the first place to actually be good when it could be so much better with a little bit of effort? That's But Better, brother. I'm gonna shit my pants just now. You wanna know what else has big, crisp puff pastry? Stuffed with Papa's meat? B-roll. Alright guys, and that is it. So we had our Hot Pockets, but better. Many doughs to choose from, right? A, B, should it be pie? Should it be flaky? Puff pastry? I think the choice is kind of yours, but at the end of the day, the puff pastry was in my opinion, the absolute winner of the entire scenario. The flakiness, the tenderness, the dough held together nicely when I was shaping it. That is the route you wanna go. But you know what? You can make pie crust if you want to. You don't wanna use puff pastry? Too many calories? Actually, they're both pretty high calorie, aren't they? So yeah, just don't make this if you're on a diet. How about that, okay? I'm on a diet, I shouldn't be making it at all. Why am I talking about this? Okay, so with all that said, if you enjoyed this video or you learned something, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you